We request our dignitaries to kindly join us in the lighting of the lamp. Thank you, respected dignitaries, for lighting. We request our dignitaries to kindly join us in the lighting of the lamp. Thank you, respected dignitaries, for lighting.
शुभं करोति कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदा शुभं करोति शुभं कल्याणरोति आरोग्यं धनसम्पदा आरोग्यं धनसम्पदानाशाय शुभं करोति शुभं कल्याणरोति आरोग्यं
Hello. Thank you so much, our dignitaries, for inaugurating this event. Let's go further. Now, I would like to, it's a great pleasure to invite Honorable PIC Sir to share a brief introduction about the UIIC. Please, it's over to you, sir.
First of all, I would like to welcome the chief guest of the program today, Professor Pavani Gupta sir, who has been so kind to join us on this early morning for the program and to grace this occasion. And I also welcome all the 5 keynote speakers.
Professor Vineet, we are not listening anything. There is some problem. Let me see.
Can you hear me now?
So it's
Yes.
very low. Vikram ji, check कर लीजिए जरा एक बार.
Volume low है.
Am I audible? All right, sir. So I also welcome to all my keynote speakers who have joined from the different part of this country and would be sharing the wisdom and the trends with our budding engineers, technocrats, professionals, pharmaceuticals professionals, and other trade professionals, how they would shape up their life. Being a government university, affiliating university, this was a unique idea when it has struck to the mind of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Vinay K. Pathak sir, and he has taken this lead to initiate and institutionalize this University Industry Interface Cell, UIIC, 2 years back in this university. The thought behind it was, to do the welfare and to work for the students who are enrolled in the colleges, which are in remote location, especially into the rural locations, and the mass recruiters and the companies, the good companies are not going, and the opportunities are not being given to those students. So we thought of to work in a hub and spoke model, whereby our colleges, our university would be giving an opportunity from the nodal, and there would be a central ERP based system. I'm happy to share that the central portal of this recruitment was being launched by Honorable Chief Minister of the state, and it is working very, very fantabulously. I am happy to share that so far 267 plus companies have given an opportunity to our students of affiliating colleges, and 4,43,000 plus students who have enrolled and have shown the interest for the various opportunities. The companies like TCS, Wipro, Capgemini, Infosys, SCL Technology, DXC Technologies, Tech Mahindra, Alembic Pharmaceuticals, Nagaro, IBM, NTT, British Telecom, Byju's, Gainsight, and many more, including Amazon and other companies who have come and who have shown the interest in our students. I'm sure our students are doing very, very good. And We are also into the process of sensitizing our students during this pandemic time. There have been a lot of initiative which has been taken. In addition to the drives which have been taking place virtually, there have been a lot of blogs which have been written by our team. I acknowledge my team members, Azaz Saab, Dr. Babita, Pratibhaji, Abhishek, and all the team members who have been working very, very hard to make this happen. There have been a lot of e-career counseling sessions which have been taking place. I also place on record the sincere thanks to my JNF committee, led by Dr. O.P. Singh, who is our DSW, Dr. Subodh Veria, our Dean Undergraduate Studies, Dr. Arun, and all other members who have been very, very kind enough to extend the support for our students. I'm sure this deliberation of today would be a very, very beneficial for our students, and they would be very, adapt to these trends of the industry and would know how to shape up and how to prepare to get through and crack these opportunities of the future. I once again thank you and extend my sincere welcome to Professor Fagoli Gupta sir, who have been with us, and I look forward to hear him soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for briefing us about UIIC. Now I would like to welcome the FO sir, if he's hello.
I'll request our Kul Sachiv Mahoday to share few words on this occasion.
आज हम लोग जिस विषय पर चर्चा के लिए इकट्ठा हुए हैं, आज जिस विषय पर हम लोग चर्चा के लिए इकट्ठा हुए हैं और इस चर्चा में हमारे इतने विद्वान प्रोफेसर्स और वीसी सब भाग लेंगे और इनके जो मत होंगे उससे जो हम लोगों ने पिछले एक वर्ष में महामारी के समय में देखा है और जो हम लोगों ने कार्य किया है और अब उसको हमें आगे कैसे तकनीक के माध्यम से, जैसे आजकल आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस वगैरह के जरिए मेडिकली कैसे हम उसको सर्च करके क्या बेहतर कर सकते हैं, यह तकनीकी विद्वानों के द्वारा ही किया जा सकता है। इसमें निश्चित रूप से एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के द्वारा अगर समय से व्यवस्थाएं उपलब्ध करा दी जाए तो तकनीकी विशेषज्ञों को और सुविधा होती है कार्य संपादित करने में। और निश्चित रूप से हम लोगों ने अपने वीसी सर के नेतृत्व में समय से हर कार्य को करने का प्रयास किया है और आगे भी इसी प्रकार से आप लोगों के सहयोग से बेहतरीन कार्य करेंगे, जिससे जनमानस को इस महामारी से पूर्णतया छुटकारा मिलने में हम लोग एक सफल ग्रुप साबित हों। और निश्चित रूप से इतने इंटेलिजेंट पर्सन्स के बीच चर्चा होगी तो उसका लाभ निश्चित रूप से हम लोगों को मिलेगा। और AKtU अपने वीसी श्री विनय कुमार पाठक सर के नेतृत्व में निश्चित रूप से बेहतर कार्य करने के लिए तत्पर रहेगा और संसाधनों की कहीं से कमी नहीं आने दी जाएगी। शासकीय दायित्वों के तहत, शासकीय नियमों के तहत हम लोग बेहतर कार्य करने का प्रयास करेंगे। जय हिंद।
धन्यवाद कुल सचिव महोदय आपके उद्बोधन के लिए और आपके एश्योरेंस के लिए। On behalf of the administration, as we have the assurance, there will be no issues and scarcity of the resources when it comes to the placement, because the placement and the opportunities for the students is very, very critical and vital for their future. So I'm sure our students, all TPOs who are joining this program would be very, very assured and look forward to shape up our young generation. I'm actually going to share that our Honorable Vice Chancellor's mother is not well. She is critically ill, so he's not with this forum today. And he has extended his best wishes and extend also his sincere regards to the Honorable Vice Chancellor GLA University, Professor Pabuli Gupta sir. And I'll request Professor Pabuli Gupta sir for his address now, please.
Good morning to you all, especially those industrialists participating in this program. And we are all thankful to the Almighty that we have come over the current scenario, last 1 year, what we were facing across the world. I'm sure that the situation will be better and better. We lost several things. We lost a lot of our relatives. We lost a lot of our techniques, and again we gained lot many things. Say, for example, no one earlier was expecting that the situation will come that we'll be delivering our lectures through online. We cannot believe till today that the conference being organized online and the exchanges of views that we are losing day by day, that is also another important phenomenon. Just before this program started, that Dr. Bhaduria was talking about, or Dr. Rajput was talking about that, that who thought that vaccine will come out within a short span of time. This is because of this pandemic and the progress in the scientific community. The amount of effort they put, that is unbelievable. And see, for example, who has thought that we'll take the proctor-based exam? And this is not at all. Are you happy with this exam? I am not happy. But the current environment is allowing us to organize such type of environment. Now, we are now making earlier what we used to do. We used to make the product so that inside the materials, the product, we took the students and then process it and output it. The processing was different. Now the processing is completely, it may become the superfluous in Indian scenario. So the output, whatever you will get, now it will be the role of the industrialist to find out whether at all the materials what we delivered or we have given to the students, that is sufficient or not, or how we have to change it, so that it becomes sufficient. Now that 180 credit units or 160 credit units, what we are thinking about for any students, is it an appropriate definition of converting a product, converting a raw materials into the product? Now it has to be completely changed. We have to think in such a way that the product becomes industry oriented. Now this is missing. Now what do we have to do? We have to think about the current scenario, the way we are defining to design the product is by students, so that it becomes the industry oriented. So that only way it is possible that if industry and academia relationship has to be improved in such a way that there will be in-campus industry. Otherwise it will be completely failure. The materials what we are delivering online, and the students are appearing the exam online, and I don't know what quality the product will be in the market, right? So, and the national education policy also is telling the same thing, that industry and academic relationship has to be improved in such a way that the product becomes sellable in the market. product, you cannot think now that traditional alpha, beta, gamma product will be useful at all. That has to be only application oriented. So my request is that if the AKtU's this effort, if you want to make it a successful, that industry and academia group should sit together within, I am talking about the UP context, how it is possible the industry should come to the campus and make one building that, okay, I want to get the product of this type. Only telling that my product is now, earlier the word was that communication skill is poor. Now, communication skill is poor means that they don't understand English, they don't know how to speak in English, or they don't have the analytical ability. These are the three components earlier days. Now, not only these three components, the fourth component will come into the picture, that is that knowledge domain is also poor. Because whatever we are giving the bookish knowledge, how are you going to convert into the lab? That part also a big challenge in front of us. The bringing the students in the market itself is a challenging one. You know, everybody is going to the market, everybody is going to the movie hall, everywhere. But if I tell them come to the office, now they start talking about the pandemic and other aspects. So that is the major problem. Now the confidence level has to be improved. The industry has the role to bring the confidence level up by having that industry talk in the campus, not online. All things cannot be done online. So say I cannot take my food online, right? Same thing. That something should be done off campus, face-to-face model. How to do it? How to solve this problem? That has to be seen. That confidence level is decreasing day by day. They are assuming, everybody is assuming that yeah, I have paid the money, I must get the degree and I must get the job. But that is not the way to think it. So my request is that industrialists and academia should sit together to find out the curriculum, what should be the curriculum, so that at the end of the 4 years program or 5-year programs, my product is saleable under the current scenario. With this, I am really thankful to AKtU, especially Professor Vineet Kansal, to invite me to deliver a talk. I am really thankful to you all to participate. The number is not that small, 200 people at this moment. I am seeing that they are attending the program. I am sure some of them will come up with good ideas in this forum. With this, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining us and for sharing the word of wisdom. We have taken your point, especially the issue of Industry Academia Connect, and we surely would be working on the path shown by you to us. At the same time, I would like to also share, we as a university in last 3 years have taken 2 more initiatives. We have in every engineering domain, we have the industry consulting group, which is, for example, in computer science, in biotechnology, in electrical engineering, in mechatronics, every domain has got industrial consulting committee, which is giving the recommendation to the board of studies for the trends and the issues which are challenging paradigm shift to incorporate into the syllabus. That is number one. Number two, in last 1.5 years, university is also working towards ODOP, one district one product scheme, which is the UP state government dream project of the honorable chief minister and the government of UP. And we are working very closely onto this scheme, and we have recently signed an MOU also. Nevertheless, I'm once again thankful from the bottom of my heart to you. I'm sure we have not given any introduction to our chief guest, because showing a candle to a sun has got no meaning. He's a fabulous researcher, ex-professor from IIT Kanpur, ex-director NITTR Kolkata, and whatsoever is being said is very less for him. Above all, he's a very modest person, very humble person, and whenever you meet him, you always find like elder brother, a father figure to everyone. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. And with this, I'll hand over to my team to take the proceeding further. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for welcoming our guest. Now, today we are gathered here to seek to bring together to some of the brightest minds of the corporates world to ideate and explore how avenues in the world of human resource management. Today's meet is a clarion call to dive deep into the new realities of HR management. Now, I would like to introduce Mr. Pramod Kumar Rajput, Vertical Head and Senior Vice President of Cadila Pharmaceuticals Limited. Welcome you, sir. And before giving you the charge, let me introduce him. Let me tell something brief about him. Mr. Pramod Kumar is a dynamic, result-oriented professional with a rich experience of over 38 years in pharmaceuticals and healthcare sales and marketing. Rich experience in handling chronic and acute therapy portfolios of leading pharmaceutical companies in India and building successful brands, teams, achieving accelerate sales, desired growth in brands through innovative new product introductions and team building. Sir, he has launched a couple of innovative products as first time in India and taken them to the blockbuster brands like Magna Star, the second largest division of Cadila Pharma Group with 500 team members. Closely worked with PwC for future business building and desired growth in 2020 to achieve 5,000 crore and so on. He has also launched gynae, onco, insulin, and critical care divisions in the past while taking them to a new performing level. He has also revived general hospital business and ethical hospital business while turning them around to become most consistent achiever divisions and verticals of Cadila Pharmaceuticals. This is very less about him. Now I would like to welcome you, sir, as my first speaker, and his topic is practices that differentiate the best organization from the good one. Thank you so much, and I welcome you on behalf of AKTU, my students, and all training and placement officers. It's over to you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, you are on mute. Pramod sir.
So thank you so much. Yeah. So thank you so much, Pratibha ma'am, for such a long introduction. It's not required. I'm a simple common person who has started because I belong to Lucknow. So whenever the things come from the Lucknow, I feel very happy because I said this is my own home place, hometown. So I should be a part of it because my entire thing is the soil is from the Lucknow, right? So it gives me an immense pleasure. So thank you so much. And I really thank Madam Babita, Dr. Babita, the Director of the University, to invite me for this elite forum. I also thank my gratitude to Professor Vinit Kansal. I heard Professor Gupta about his vision and the things. And I also thank Professor Vinay Kumar Pathak for making the things very clear because APJ Abdul Kalam University is a name is being reckoned not only in UP but in the different parts, different states of India. So it's a matter of great pride for all of us to be a part of it. So I was just reading the entire thing that APJ sir always says that the youth need to be enabled to become job generators from the job seekers. That was the thing which was there. So I said, let me start with the same thing because now this new normal has changed our thinking. Earlier, the technology was there, but now we are utilizing the technology very well. Earlier, we were all the physical. Now it is becoming digital and physical both. Now we talk about the phygital. And I'm also very happy that we have four important keynote speakers, which are again from the technology part. So my gratitude to all the four key speakers, which are going to talk on the technology. It's like a learning and understanding the thing. So now coming back to the thing, which is the HR practices, which are really required. Let me tell you, HR is a backbone of any industry or any organization because HR, we always say we have a lot of respect for the HR. Though when it comes to the commercial gain, it's a sales and marketing. But the people who hold, it's like a lady in the house who takes care for the entire home very well, and that is the HR. Because HR is always a patient listener and a passionate executor. That is the thing which always we talk about the HR part. So there are so many people are there with that. So coming to the best practices, which is basically there, I always say that one should know what are your goals are there, because now you are changing the thing. Professor Tripathi sir, Vinay sir has said that lot of the industry professionals are coming, they are talking about the course and all. So as a HR person, we should be very clear, the goals are there, the visions are there, and the mission is there. Because now with this paradigm shift, the entire thing has been changed. Now we are able to see what we are going to do in 2 years of time. The students which are coming out in 2 years, how industry is going to grab them instead of they should be going there and requesting them. So the complete thinking has to be changed. Then how are you? Where, who are your people? What drives you? What are the strengths are there? Because it always says that we have to build the strength, and HR is the right person who can build the different strength to make the people more stronger instead of working on the weaker side, and at the same time developing the weaker people also. So the another thing is that always a trust index survey, right? Which normally the Fortune 100 companies they are doing it. I personally request that, because we have done this survey, because Cadila has been nominated in 2020 at the Great Place to Work. Same thing which we can do it, that we are able to do the thing that how employees they lead the group discussion on the results, how they are creating an action plan involving every employee in tweaking and improving your future culture for the success. This is the basic things are there, which is very, very important. Conversations is very important, because just now Professor Falguni sir said that earlier people were meeting the things. Now, how you are going to make the product? Yes, you are going to make the product. But वो बात बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में, बात करने से बात बनती है. It's very, very important that conversation build the trust. You understand the things, you understand what the person is thinking and how you are going to act on that. So once you are putting the things can be involved, and it can be involved very well, because you all have the great infrastructure along with this. The other point which I say as a HR, new practices. Today in this new normal, I want to give a small example. In Cadila, we are not able to meet our team, right? Initially when there was a lockdown. So what we did it, we have contacted each person. Earlier we used to contact, the manager used to contact each person in the field or in the meeting. But with this technology, we have contacted, our HR has contacted each person's family to ensure that how is their welfare part is there. So the humanity part, the compassion part has come out with this new technology. So HR can play a very beautiful, vital role. Then the connect will be there to the last person in the home itself. There's a new thing which has been developed here. And at the same time, you become an employee friendly, or the person friendly, or the student friendly, because this is the way we are able to build the thing. You will not believe, we have done a star function. Earlier we used to do with the technology, without technology, we used to call 300 people to the different part. This time with the technology, our HR has built 5,000 total number of the people, including the family, so that now everybody knows about it. That yes, how Cadila and how each and every family member, including a 4 years child, to a 80 years geriatric person was able to involve, were able to see. And they all know that which person in the HR is the in charge for that regional area. So when you talk about the home, in the home, they said, yes, Mr. X, he contacted us and we know him very well. See, this is the use of that technology has changed the entire things. So you have all the infrastructure, but you have utilized it. You have made the things so well that people are getting resonated with you. People feel that you are a part of it. So there is a uniqueness has been added. So be unique about it. And at the same time, like the Google, Pixar, other successful companies, they align the benefit, perks, campus improvement, other changes, which just now Vinny sir has said that it is already there. So improve on the things and make the things happen. We are also doing it. We are not stopping the things, and HR is again playing a vital role on this. Always remember this new normal. I was talking to Badoria sir. Earlier, in 10 years of time, we used to change, but now every second year things are going to be changed. So as an HR, we have to see what are the best practices are happening in the market. What are the things we are going to see? What are the good things we are able to shape it up? And what are the things which are not able to give the result? Discard that part. And at the same time, the KRA, KPA, and the student part can be evaluated every 3 months. Gone are the days when we used to evaluate after 6 months of time or 1 year of time. Every 3 months, if we evaluate the things, I think we can make our people more strong, more confident, more competent to that, because the survival of the fittest is the requirement now. Charles Darwin's theory always reminds us that survival of the fittest. So to make the person fit, every 3 months evaluation is very, very important. And technology can play one of the finest role, and HR can resonate it so well. With this, I would also request you that please inspire the people. I always say inspire to aspire. Everybody wants inspiration, encouragement, padding the things. So any smallest thing, if the things are happening, if HR is playing a vital, apart from the professors, apart from the seniors, apart from the lecturer, the HR makes a complete turnaround. So please inspire to aspire the thing, and I'm sure what are the infrastructure which you have, with the student which you have, they are going to be chosen. Chosen. People will have the hawk eyes that this is the in AKT University, in different department, what a brilliant students are coming up. And it all depends on us that which are going to make. Because whenever the student is joining the campus or joining the institute, they are brilliant, they have knowledge. The only thing is we have to sharpen this. And in this way, we are able to sharpen the entire things very well. With this, I thank all of you for giving me an opportunity talking about the new best practices, which we are doing it, which we are inculcating it, which we are making the things happen, and we are getting the result. Today, our growth of Cadila is more 5 times more than the industry growth. That I can say. Because technology, HR, sales and marketing all have resonated together, and we have made the things happen. So with this, thank you so much, Babita ma'am, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you so much, Vinay sir, for giving me the opportunity. And thank you so much for all my keynote speakers for adding the strength which you are going to add, which I am going to learn from you. Because after all, technology is going to be a god, and HR is the backbone for that, which I always salute. Thank you to all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajput sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Pramodji. Thank you so much. It is actually very modestly said, inspire to aspire. And I would like to share with you and to all my panelists today. We have a large number of pharmacy institutions with us. Uh, out of 2.5 lakh students, we have it, and we have around 700, 755 colleges which are affiliated to us. And at around 300 colleges, which are pharmacy colleges, which as of now, which are affiliated with this university. So number of students are huge, which are doing graduation and then further post-graduation in pharmacy. And I'm sure, and I'm look forward they to shape up very well, as the pandemic has shown us the new normal, and it is actually a need of time they to be understand the sensitivity of their profession. These words, I again sincerely extend my sincere thanks on behalf of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow, for being with us, to spare valued time with us on this Saturday with us. And again, there are some questions, and I look forward the questions to be taken up now or after the all panelists. How do you?
After the all panelists, better,
All
because
right.
let the flow
All
should
right.
carry on, sir.
All right. So I'll request Pratibha ji to take up further. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pramodji and Professor Vice Chancellor sir. As again we all agree that it's an ice age. Ice means innovation, communication, and entertainment. So without technology, I mean, we are just zero. So in terms of that, I would like to invite my second keynote speaker, Miss Miss Mandeep Kaurji. She's currently working with IBM, having performed varied global, Asia Pacific, and country roles in the strategic human resource and talent domain. So overall work experience is in varying business environments across multiple industries, information technology. She has been into telecommunications and information technology enabled services, consulting in manufacturing, roles performed in various geographies like global, Asia, Pacific, and India. So please welcome, I would like to welcome on behalf of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam University, ma'am. Thank you so much, and it's over to you, ma'am. And her topic is technology enabled HR in today's era of disruption. Thank you. It's over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. A very good morning to everybody. I think it's a privilege to be here today for me, and especially this institution. I remember when Dr. Babita and Vineet approached me and asked me to be a part of this panel. I just couldn't say no. And I really appreciate the contributions all the members of this great institution are making to the society to build leaders for tomorrow. So thank you for this opportunity. For the topic today, what I'm sharing, because what ma'am has shared is about the industry part of it, but the other hat that I also wear is as a researcher. So this is based on not just my experience working with my current organization, but also as a researcher uh, that I would like to share. One question I have as I start my discussion is, in the last almost 1 year, an employee, be it any organization, has been through multiple challenges. To name a few, the challenges could be health challenges, not knowing tomorrow when you step out to pick a newspaper for the house or even go and pick out grocery for your family, whether you are coming back home safe. It could be challenges of not knowing your loved ones, whether they are safe, tomorrow, not knowing whether your any of you in your family, if they go through any health challenges, how are they going to come through this? These kinds of personal challenges, which bring so much of trauma, so much of upheaval in an employee's life. That's one aspect. And so much uncertainty. That's one aspect. The second is immediately having to move into a scenario where you have to work from home. In global companies like ours, where sometimes we have global clients, the transition was immediate. 99.9% people needed to start from working from home and supporting clients within 24 hours. And they continue to do so currently. Adjusting to not knowing, how tomorrow is going to be from a job perspective, from a growth perspective. And in some industries, it still continues, the uncertainties of what's happening. Focusing on clients, continuing to give your best, managing work and home, diversity more challenged because they have multiple hats to wear. This was the scenario, and it still continues as we are in the first quarter of 2021. In these scenarios, there are organizations who still have posted enhanced engagement results, who have showed data shows that in 2020 as compared to 2019 or 18, and I personally have experienced this, the engagement results have been higher than previous years. What do you think has been the answer to this puzzle? How could the employee experience have been better in these trying circumstances where organizations had to manage so much of upheaval, so many things at their end, and still ensure that they stay focused from a client perspective, but are also humane in such circumstances? HR, human resources, came to their helps. In these trying times, it was HR through technology which each set priorities, and they supported organizations through ramifications which were linked to the pandemic or what came with it. Technology came to the forefront of these organizations as such. So I will briefly talk about three aspects. There are many, but I know I have limited time and I want to stay focused on what is really important that I want to pass on to the students. There were three areas which really reaped results when we looked at the technology, three ways, especially, and I will focus on artificial intelligence because that's my area of interest. The artificial intelligence technologies enabled HR to build an employee experience which was focused on empathy, care, and development. And I'll talk about them very briefly. The first is employee listening. When your employee is going through such a challenging phase, it's very critical for organizations to listen to what they are saying. But how do you listen? Your employees are not coming to the office. They are going through enough and more challenges in terms of managing work and work-life balances. So what organizations have done is they have ensured through employee surveys, uh, poll results, snack polls, they have ensured that technology is leveraged well. So I'm going to be talking about not just the surveys, but also the communication, the feedback, and the responses to the feedback were, focused on. The first aspect was sentiment and emotion analysis. The second was parsing of the employee survey connects. And how did this happen? Through artificial intelligence technologies of neural of natural language processing, which we typically call NLP, and also neuro linguistic programming. It was ensured that whatever the employees are saying, the data is quickly processed, analyzed, and we immediately focus on what needs to be done next rather than waiting for a few months to happen. That really reaped benefits. And we just did not listen to what the employees were saying. We also listened to what the employees were not saying to us, but were saying somewhere else. So social listening, wherein social listening through extraction of the sentiment and opinions which were posted on social media. And this was done through intelligent text analysis. So these are some aspects which are not just taken care of, which are leveraged now, but they are leveraged continuously. And it is a part of our employee listening focus. But these enable organizations, even if they are in the midst of a catastrophe, to have immediately on their radar all inputs that are related to and impact employee experience. This is the first one. The other aspect, the second one, is focus on well-being. Now, one of the critical employee expectations during the time of the pandemic has been that their organizations take care of their well-being and safety to help them keep safe and healthy. So here also, artificial intelligence technologies have supported chatbot support, which is 24/7, which can be personalized and always available. This technology helps in prioritizing well-being, communications, responsiveness, pertaining to different aspects, be it related to health and even your emotional well-being. So through the artificial intelligence technologies, employee support, be it through robotic technology, AI-based interactive voice responses were focused on. And these continue. For some organizations like ours, this is a way of life. We've not just leveraged them during the pandemic, but this is a part of what HR is today. So these help in 24/7, creating a safe support environment. Last but not the least is leadership development. A crisis and the type that we are currently going through impacts one thing the most, and that is what is expected from the leaders. Need for the leaders to step up and to speed learn to handle emergency situations like this is required, because what currently we are going through, none of the leaders have had experience how to handle this situation, and a situation which has a different um, scenario every day. When you've had a lockdown, post-lockdown 2, 3 different health and other emergency situations. So AI-based tools help in accelerated learning. And this is done through different capabilities that we have. The first one being search engine capabilities, which are embedded in the learning tools architecture, which help make intelligent recommendations for a learning roadmap that a leader has to quickly get onto and learn what to do in this situation, because there is no single way to handle the situation. The AI tagging of the content through metadata supports in having a user-friendly interface through content channels. Thus, another aspect of AI, which is leveraged very well, is social media linkage to platforms, wherein cognitive learning is enabled and connectedness with peers facing similar situations is done. What does it do? It helps equip leaders to deliver to employee expectations by learning, but learning quickly, because there is no time to learn, absorb, simulate, and then try to do it. It is required immediate and needs to be done quickly. So these technologies have helped leaders to deliver to employee expectations, to employees who are looking up to them in this hour of crisis. So, summarizing what I've said, I just want to re-emphasize that HR technology, and especially artificial intelligence technologies, can really support organizations. And we've seen a live example ourselves in this current phase. Not only can they support in the current situation, but make them resilient and ensure that they are prepared for uncertainties. And we will have more coming our way. This is not the end of it. There might be more coming our way, but we'll be better prepared. We'll be more resilient to be prepared for the uncertainties of the future too. With this, I would like to thank the esteemed panel for giving me this great opportunity to share a few thoughts on what we've been through in the past year and how we have come through it successfully. Best wishes to everybody to continue, and especially the students, to continue the focus on their learning journey, because they're leaders for tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mandeep ji, for sharing your thoughts with us, with our students. And very, very well said. It is all about empathy, care, and development. And we have seen it in our personal experiences also. Once you touch the people, your colleagues, your peer colleagues, with with a kind of empathy, they do and they contribute to the organization the best. So I'm very much in agreement whatsoever you have said. And again, you have also raised this point of use of cutting edge technology, especially artificial intelligence, for the welfare of mankind. We have seen the uses of artificial intelligence and other cutting edge technology into the area of academia also. The assessment especially has changed this paradigm. In pandemic, all teaching learning has been uh, digitally, but assessment has been a challenge. A lot of experiments and tools have been coming forward, but once it comes to efficiency, it's all about self discipline, self honesty. I think these are the few answers and challenges we have to still encounter. But I would like to share, probably sensing all those things, we have taken up two courses. One is the artificial intelligence, and another course is emerging technology. Both 3 credit hour course in first year, first semester and second semester, are being mandatorily adopted from this year for all our engineering students. We have realized that this is no more the area or the cup of tea for computer science and IT engineering domain students. It is for everybody, every technocrat to understand. So it has been taken up and it is being designed by our own faculty members. they have developed through the video contents, and it is being telecast through our own LMS of the university. So this is the first we are going through, and this is in addition to we are doing the telecast of our content, which is being shape up and shoot by our own faculty members of affiliated and associated colleges. And we have telecast on Swam Prabha channel number 15, 1000 plus lectures. And this is the first university in the country which is going to telecast the syllabus of the university onto the national television. And we are also doing from last 3 years the credit transfer of NPTEL and SWIM, whosoever are doing it. And we are encouraging our faculty members to do this certifications, and we are giving the financial reimbursement also. So thank you very much, Mandeep ji, for joining us, and we look forward this association to cherish further. Thank you, and I request Pratibha ji to for the next.
Thank you, Mandeep madam. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to introduce my fourth keynote speaker, Mr. Sarvesh Bhadoria. He's AGM HR of Schindler Electric India. Now, Mr. Bhadoria is specialized in creating and driving strategic initiatives that support organization transformation by people management. He's expert into talent management, learning, leadership development through an 18 plus years of experience. Sir, I would like to request you to please take up this session. Mr. Sarvesh Bhadoria, it's over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you, the organizing committee. Special thanks to Vineet to reaching out and requesting me to join this conclave. And by being present here, I'm feeling that I'm getting a lot of advantage from the vintage of experience which is available in the room, both from academia as well as industry. And what I find is that almost everyone is more experienced than me. So I'm privileged to be part of this conclave. Now, to start, I'll flash back to pre-COVID, and I'll just share my experience. My entire experience was into conventional industry within Schneider. So it was in manufacturing, then HR shared services, and then I was handling sales and services HR. But then the thought was that the entire industry was moving to fast forward mode, and digital was the word and where everyone was moving. So I opted for transfer to Bangalore, where our Schneider digital office is. And all our discussions during my initial days 2 years ago were around how to take most advantage of AI, machine learning, and robotics, and my learning were toward that direction. I was reading books and all those things. While reading, I also got to know that today or world where it was 2 years ago, technology was out of skin. So when I say out of skin, just for an example, if you are searching something in search engine, suppose if you want to buy a car, once you search it, and next 2-3 days you'll find more and more options which were thrown by the search engines to you. That is the technology which is there today. But then as we were getting deeper into it, the discussions were there that this technology will get into our skin, meaning when artificial intelligence will meet the biotechnology. So whatever thoughts getting into your mind, that will be known to external world much before then, and that will be done by collection of your data, what is getting in your thought process, that will be collected, and they will do the algorithm, and they will come up that what is your next thought will be. And this is, by the way, is not reality today, but not very far from reality. In next 5 to 10 years, this will happen. And the organization like Google and companies which are fast forward in the technology, they will get to know much before and entire thing can be manipulated. The voting system, your purchase capability and your interest, accordingly organization and countries will do that. So all these were kind of realities which I was facing, and there were counter thoughts in my mind also. And when I was speaking to my kids, my colleagues in the office, so I was very fortunate, and very proudly I used to share that we are in the generation which is most fortunate, where there is no world war. You know, our previous generation, they have seen world war, and there was no pandemic. We are in the era where there is no obstacle, especially when we are in India, by virtue of globalization and liberalization in the 90s. So the generation is also getting jobs. There is no scarcity of jobs, especially in India. So with all these thoughts, we were moving ahead. And during those days, I think this Avenger movie was also, it came, and my kids were watching that movie. Suddenly, that Thanos appeared. So that Thanos, he just, with a one clap or one that, tick, the half of the world was vanished. And that was a time when COVID hit the world. So all around the world, it was panic, and everyone was thinking that the entire world will be, if not entire, at least half of the world will be vanished. Everyone was in panic. So organizations, government, institutes, they didn't know what to do. What is the next step? All our artificial intelligence, machine learning, and everything we were discussing, that was still a plan, but then that probably for a month or so got backseated, and we came to very basic learnings: how to wash our hands. You know, anyone would have thought that we would going to learn that how to wash our hands. That is the reality. When reality hits, we need to come to ground and actually understand, individual psychology, and that's where probably most of the organizations were working, while not losing the long-sightedness, but the immediate action was called to how to take care of that immediate need. So all those communications which were published by government, we were quick enough to cascade to our organization those do's and don'ts more emphatically, so that we are not losing anything. And one of the initiatives I would say was called out was that the psychological support to our employees. So we actually partnered with the psychologists who were professional psychologists, and those psychologists were empaneled much before this COVID, but the utilization was not there. But during this pandemic, what we noticed that the calls to those psychologists and the connect to those psychologists went 500 times. So almost fourth employee of our organization was reaching out to psychologists to get the emotional support, and those emotional support were required because of the social condition, personal conditions. So that's how things were evolving. But as things were getting improved, we came back to our business. We lost one quarter. And why I'm sharing with this to young generation, that these uncertainties will keep on happening. And this is what Mandeep madam has also talked about. Being irrelevant and uncertainty. This is the next thing which is keep on happening. Today it is COVID, tomorrow it will be something else. If not anything, then your technology will change, and we need to continually evolve with and keep pace with the technology. And the message to our student is that how to deal with being irrelevant. Just by saying this is, those skill sets which were in demand in market 4 years ago, and those were highly paid jobs, today has become very average, and tomorrow probably that will extend. So continuously evolving ourselves is very important. Also, when I say continuously evolving, that not only is for young generation, but people like we who have done almost 2 decades of experience, it is much more difficult when we are aging to reskill ourselves, but that is going to be reality. So emotional intelligence and mental strength is very important going forward. Some of the very basic things during COVID, what we supported with our employees was that we went for increased insurance, which was completely focused toward COVID. Each family member was given 5 lakhs of coverage, and there was a policy change in the leave that 28 days of leave will be given if anyone is affected by COVID, whether it is employee or someone in the family. No questions will be asked, and 20 days without any questions he can avail. And beyond that, of course, there will be some approvals. These are the gestures to show that how much we care and we trust. Now, during this COVID, what has happened? New ways of working that has come fast forward. While it was discussed much before, but there was a lot of resistance from the managers. During these last 10, 11 months, people were working from home, and like Mandeep madam has said that employee engagement index has increased in the industry, and so is true with our organization also. So employee engagement index grew from 67 to 88. That was a huge jump. In past, it had never happened. Our productivity also increased from 88 to 121. So meaning, on the one side, people were stressed because of this COVID thing, but the engagement was increasing. At the same time, their productivity to the organization, that was increasing. Why it was happening? Probably they were getting that trust from the organization that in this difficult time, organization is standing with us. And going forward across the globe, what is being now policy is being rolled out is that only 3 days in a week is mandatory to come to office, and for digital organization it is just 2 days, and rest of the days you can work from home. So I think these are the gestures which our company has shown. Engagement activities, in all of the MNCs and professionally managed company, it is more or less similar. We also followed that cadence for connect with the people was changed from face to face to virtual mode, and sharing the update, keeping them updated about the company vision is very important when it is virtual, so that they feel that they are included. There is a lot of evolution going on in virtual kind of learning. So shift from classroom to virtual was very fast. When the shift was happening, there was a lot of learning for the HR, that small size learning or bite size learning was the trend. So we created those small videos and also followed by quizzes so that people are engaged, and tracking was done by machine learning and artificial intelligence. So those cognitive learning modules were created by looking at the interest, what kind of learning people are interested into. So those were the things. Most of our actions were around trust building, and one of the pillar of HR is immediate managers. So we took a lot of effort to instill those leadership skills in them so that they have that kind of trust. I think these were the learnings from my organization and fraternity with whom I am interacting. Again, message to youngster and the students is that agility is very important when you are entering to corporate. Of course, you will have some preferences, but then the way world is changing, the way technology is changing, not necessarily that where you are interested, interest is lying, job will be matching. So it is continuously evolving situation. So keep yourself agile. And the message to the counselors and the professors is that while you are teaching technology, while you are teaching core subjects, make your students emotionally very strong. Emotional intelligence is very strong, is very important, and mental strength, because with the kind of change will happen in future, whatever you teach in next 5 years, that will be irrelevant. So dealing with that irrelevance is very important. And again, reskilling self is what I think. So that's what are my thoughts for this conclave. Thank you.
Thank you, Moji. Thank you so much. And very nicely said. Again, it's all about connectivity, taking the good work and the good potential and the best utilization of the resources available. And especially in the time of pandemic, when we have lost sales, there was shedding up the human resources, and many of the IT companies especially have taken up a resolution for coming 1 year or 3 years. Many of the companies are operating from work from home culture. So, and people are, of course, you are right, going to the psychologist. Though there is a upcoming area in interdisciplinary approach of working psychology and computer science and cognitive computing are the emerging areas to work upon. But at the same time, yes, it is correct. We are all our social animals, and we do connect to each other and share our emotions through our body language, through body gestures. And once we are missing this in view of this, isolations, so it's a lot of problems, and we as a human race are going through this problem. I'm sure as that things are settling down, but this is a great lesson. This was an opportunity for all of us. This may happen again in some other form and some other time. God knows when only. Thank you very much, Pramodji, Saveshji, to join us, and look forward your association to continue further. Pratibha please.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your views with our students on this topic. Now, I would like to introduce my fourth key speaker, Mr. Raj Gupta. He is with TCS company as a GMHR, and I mean, what should I say about him? But he is an accomplished author, speaker, and HR professional with more than 25 years of experience in diversified senior management roles with exposure to national and internationally as well. So he has written 1,000+ articles in different, on different topics, maybe on nano post on leadership, managerial effectiveness, HR trends management, culture, career, jobs, interviews, etc. in public space. He has won many awards as well, and the most, I mean, precious award is Global HR Excellence Exemplary Leader Award at the Asia Pacific HRM Conference. So it's over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Am I audible? Yes.
Yes, sure, you are audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great, great. I think thank you for inviting me. It's indeed a privilege, and this introduction. So thank you so much. I think I just joined in, and I was hearing Sarvesh just few lines I could hear. And what caught my attention was, his emphasis on reskilling and says, illiterate of 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So learning is larger spectrum and context. From a broad work perspective, Industry 4.0 context, the acronym called SMAC, which is Social Mobility Cloud Analytics, it was already disrupting the industry in 4.0 context. Alongside machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, etc. And amidst that, this pandemic has come in, and pandemic has accelerated the shift, the technological shift we were witnessing. The few things that I see, happening, the future of work and future of workplace has been, shifting majorly. The way we used to work earlier versus the way we are working now in the last, 9 to 12 months is very, very different. Now, when we look at this shift from a office perspective, particularly in the IT and IT industry world, we are even questioning the requirement for offices for such a massive population which is employed by IT industry. Roughly 4.5 million people are employed. So do we need all the workers to get back to offices? So if we look at offices existed to bring camaraderie, to bring collaboration, uh, and develop trust among the workforce. Now the question is, how do we do the same thing in a virtual environment? So how do we build and bring the similar experiences? And that's where I think this challenge that is confronting the CHROs in today's context. So that's one major thing that I see, the future of work and workplaces. So those boundaries are blurring. Second, there is a massive shift when it comes to education industry, whether it is academic or learning industry in corporate. I don't think any of us would have imagined, particularly in our Indian context, that our teaching community would be doing it online, even for student as young as fourth or fifth or sixth standard. I think this was a major shift, though the edtech industry was already moving up. For the last 4 5 years, they were making strides. There was some amazing work happening in that context. But what pandemic has done, whatever education industry, in my view, would have achieved, in the next 10 years from a technological advancement standpoint, they would end up achieving that in 1 or 2 years. So this is a major shift. None of us, as academician, as parents, we were not used to that. So that's one area. Similarly, in corporate world also, there is a shift wherein we are moving. We were already moving out of classroom training and were looking at hybrid models. But this pandemic has shifted the game, and then we have started talking about Netflixization of education, or learning through the corporate. And when I say Netflixization, I essentially mean you customize the content for your consumer. You give them what they want. Another shift that I see that is largely coming in is from a learning perspective. We are moving from massive online open courses to MOOCs, which is what I call massive online open short engagements. So people, when we look at these digital natives who are joining the workforce born after 2000, they're very different. Their thinking is very different. They want, you cannot give them a 2 hours kind of a lecture. So MOOCs is taking shape, which is short engagements. Can I give them a clip of, let's say 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes? Or if somebody is traveling and they show their interest, let's say on leadership, can I give them, that clip? And then if they want to get into detail, they will get into detail. So one is, future of work and workplaces. Second, as I said, the major shift in, education and learning industry. And third, I see what this pandemic has done. It has, brought attention on the gig economy, which is a major shift. And it is a huge cost advantage for the organizations, because the economy of full-time workers, so that is something which is getting questioned at this point in time. It is cost optimal for organizations to get into those kind of arrangements. However, one of the biggest challenges that I see when it comes to gig is regulation, and is at a very nascent stage. So when we look at the Western world, Europe in particular, this has progressed quite a lot. But when it comes to our country, I think there is a need for the government to pay attention to gig economy. When I look at this gig, I see it's a huge advantage for smaller organization and a single person or two-person or three-person entrepreneurs team, smaller teams. It's a huge advantage because they are in a position to provide. I say this like this, Japanese qualities at McKinsey's price. So it's a huge advantage for those people or leaders who are, getting into consulting, getting into individual, as an individual, as a freelancers, or smaller size company, because the advantages from a technology perspective that were hitherto largely limited to the large multinational corporations is now getting commoditized and available to most of these people who are smaller organization or single entrepreneur. So those are a few of my initial thoughts with regard to future of work and some of the shift happening in that context. I'd be happy to answer any questions, if there is any.
Thank you, Raji, for again sharing your thoughts and on a very, very prominent and issue. Rightly mentioned, things have changed a lot. Many things will continue, many things will fade off with time, but the change which are going to be with us now in the time to come would be such which we cannot and ever forget. This pandemic has happened. This is such a issue which has happened no living being and living creature has seen in his or her life so far. And yes, of course, many learning lessons and many opportunity that has given. And I think all of us should take as an opportunity and should learn from this. Thank you very much for being with us and look forward your association further and for the betterment of our students and to our ecosystem. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mr. Raj. Thank you so much.
Taking things forward, I would like to add something, from operating in closed conference rooms to holding a chief seat at the senior leadership table, HR surely has come a long way. So today, the role of HR in planning and driving strategic growth is as important as technology and business leadership. In recent years, HR has undergone dynamic shifts in its roles, functions, and overall impact in shaping organizations. So the need for a digital transformation from operating in in a traditional cocoon is no longer an option. The sooner the shift happens, the higher the chances of survival. In this reference and in this regard, I would like to invite my fifth keynote speaker, Ms. Debajani Roy. She is basically a human resource professional with 24 years of experience of corporate with an established reputation of providing transformative people leadership across. She has an experience in industrial relation and human resource as well. Now, she would address us on the topic of changing role of HR leaders from background contributors to strategic value creator. She has a lot of experience with Nalco, Telecom Bharti, IT, ITES, HCL Technologies, with which we are very associated. So many BPOs, Mantle Systems in Bharti, and SRL Diagnostics. So please, I would like to welcome on behalf of the university, Ms. Debjani Roy. It's over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible for all.
Sure, you are.
Okay, thank you so much, and it's a pleasure being with all of you at AKtU. My gratitude to Vice Chancellor, Pro Vice Chancellor, the August Fraternity of Academicians, as well as my very dear students. Gives me immense pleasure to be on this platform to address you for the first time today And I hope this will not be the last one for the association going forward. I have a very interesting topic to speak upon. Being a very, very conscientious and passionate HR professional myself for the last 25 years, and having handled all portfolios right from the junior most rank to that of a CHRO in multiple organizations, both as in multinationals as well as Indian proprietorships. I can't count myself among those very lucky and very, very fortunate HR professionals who are currently seeing a major shift in the delivery and in the evolution of not only the HR function, but also the functionaries themselves, from having been what they were yesterday, counted upon as only a staff function. They were never counted for more than, probably just coordinating the training programs or doling out the performance management systems, or at best looking after the discipline and the code of conduct, as well as the rest of the do's and don'ts of falling in line with the organizational policies. But today it's a paradigm shift. I'm very, very happy, and to be a part of that fraternity, which in its own lifetime is seeing such a major shift in not only the way we understand the function, but also the way we deliver the same. I call the current HR fraternity the aid workers. And when I say aid workers, it's AID. A, agile in thought. I stands for innovative, incomplete on their feet. And finally, D stands for dynamic in delivery. So when I say aid, it's a combination of agile, innovative, and dynamic. And we've come a long way as an HR fraternity to actually develop into this faction. So till yesterday, while we were looked at as a staff function looking after the do's and don'ts, today we are at the strategic table. We are part of the steering committee of the CXOs. We are wearing double hats of not only the HR fraternity, but also that of a business leader. And by no means are we reading the profit and loss and the balance statement of the organizations any less. As a matter of fact, when we take part in the board meetings of our organizations, we read out the profitability statement sometimes even better than our financial counterparts. We are aware of what cash flows are affecting the organization. We are aware of what cost and benefit analysis can go into actually shedding a lot of the importance of how the profitability can be managed within an organization. I think we've come a long way. But making the most of the time allotted to me, which is not too much, I would certainly want to highlight 4 or 5 aspects of today generation's HR leaders, which are very different from what it used to be yesterday. I will start as calling the today generation as the strategic partner to the board and the CXOs. When I say strategic partner, we are not only busy in implementing the policies and rules and regulations, but we are actually thinking all the time. We are providing thought leadership in looking ahead 4 steps and thinking about where to position this organization so as to take the profitability and market share even further. When we do that, we start by looking at the structural configuration of organizations. When I say we are today agile in thought and practice, that agility comes from understanding that the structure that was there yesterday may not be the structure which is suitable for the market today. So when we look at a go-to-market strategy for the organization, we also look at how the customer needs to be approached, how the customer needs to be appeased in order to actually redefine the go-to-market strategy completely differently. And I so believe that this is not the job of only the marketing and the branding departments, but also for the importance of functionaries in HR to understand, because as very beautifully said by the CEO of Virgin Atlantic, if you keep your employees happy, the employees will keep your customers happy in turn. So that is a strategic intent which HR departments are continuously revolving and evolving around today. We are not just thinking of how to keep the employees happy just by doling out the necessary compensation and whatever hygiene factors were there even yesterday, but we are talking about continuous engagement. We are talking about how to improve that engagement into the next level of experience. So it's no longer employee engagement. Today, we are talking about employee experience. We are talking about how to align not only the employee, but also the extended part of the employee, which is the family, to become a cohesive part of an organization. How do we take that as an integrated whole in order to make sure that the employee is with me today, not just for today's productivity, but we extend that longevity even for tomorrow so that it becomes a cohesive source of delivery. So, strategic partnering is one of the first important new roles that today HR has adapted for itself. The second very important part that has enabled the HR functionaries to become good strategists is the fact that they are today the masters of data. Till yesterday, there was data sitting with people in HR, but there was not much that was happening with the data. But today, metrics, churning of that data enabled decision making has become the mainstay of HR delivery. Today, when we talk about every sub function of HR, whether it is the hiring function or whether it is the compensation amalgamation of compensation strategy, or whether it's a concept of benefit programs, or whether it is a concept of attrition and how that attrition is actually hitting the productivity line or the bottom line of the company, it is all data driven. It is no longer a subjective or supposition that HR is talking about. It is no longer a gut feeling or just a few conclusions based on demographics. It's a question of that data which is there with us. We are churning, we are mining, we are collating, and finally that leads us to certain decisions which help in the complete understanding of productivity of the organization. So today's HR professionals are data masters, data champions, and that's a new role and a strategic role that has come into play in a big time. The third very important function, and I take no apologies for giving more importance to this than ever, is that HR professionals even yesterday were supposed to be people champions, which is they were supposed to bring empathy to the table. They were supposed to understand where things were going wrong, how to bring about that balance between what the stakeholders asked for the company and what the people needed to have in order to be motivated to work for a company. There was always a linking pin which had to be there, and HR had to fulfill that functional divide between the two. But today, it's a lot more than done. The pandemic and all the troubles, the trials, the tribulations that the pandemic has brought with it has necessitated that HR not only becomes a very empathic and a very compassionate partner to this entire organization building, but the fact that an HR professional today has to become an agony aunt, a storyteller, a master motivator, all rolled into one. Because today we are looking at a somewhat fractured workforce management. We are looking at a workforce today which is no longer 90% permanent employees, but we are looking at a workforce which is necessarily a part of gig economy, which are temp workers, which are partial workers. We are talking of digital nomads who are absolutely masters on the digital zone, but who are not really interested for looking at a long-term connection with any organization. They would want to deliver and move on. They would want to experiment and move on again. So you're dealing with a very different workforce mechanism today. And to be able to handle that difference in workforce and to be able to create a melting pot all over again, where people from diverse backgrounds with separate aspirations and with different levels of proficiencies can be brought together, and a homogeneous or a somewhat near homogeneous culture can be evolved out of that, is something which is a bigger challenge for HR professionals today. Therefore, the more the challenge, the more extraordinary has to be the response. Therefore, today's HR professionals have again started talking not only the language of the people, but in the language that is more affable to also the CXO levels to be able to bridge that gap. Today's leadership paradigm is not the same. You can't exercise physical leadership with probably half your workforce, which is today working out of home. So, how do you develop your leadership style, your team building style, your ability to extend your hand and create motivation around almost 50 to 60% of your workforce, which is far away, placed in remote locations? It's a learning by itself. Therefore, again, HR today has become a brilliant technology driven learning champion. The learning is onto the forefront. The learning is all over important because today's learning is no longer classroom training. It is no longer a bookish knowledge. It's more experiential, and we are learning day to day in order to re strategize and re strategize as the developments are happening. So we have an HR who is today a strategic partner, a master data learner, a champion storyteller, and an empathic leader. And last but not the least, an understanding of what it takes for genuine workforce management. Last but not the least, I think one of the very important work that HR will continue to play in a very large way and probably will evolve into a greater function is total and complete stakeholder management. Today's organizations are at a stage where we don't know what is the hybrid that we will come about and putting in place tomorrow. Whether it is going to be a large amount of the workforce still continuing to work out of homes, or whether we will have a part of the workforce coming into offices, whether it'll be a part week working from home or a part week working from offices. There can be many models which can be thought of. And the pandemic has not gone away, but it has left us with a huge learning that if something like this could be so unprecedented and unexpected and could shake up the corporate world in such significant ways, we should be better adept to be fast on our feet in order to be able to be agile, to be flexible, to be able to find solutions for the next pandemic or the next calamity around the corner. I think that is something which has hit the HR folks today, who are beginning to think much more and actually donning the theory of the multicolored hats is nowhere better prevalent today than ever before. So I think the learnings are all out there. We HR have to shed our inhibitions. We have to get out of our comfort zones, and we have to become what I just outlined are the 4 or 5 most important characteristics that will lead us to become the major functionaries of stitching organizations together even for the future. I think that's what I would like to talk about in terms of how I feel the HR fraternity is scaling up, will scale up, and will continue to play a very, very incremental role in making sure that the organizations are ready and adept for better deliveries for tomorrow. Thank you so much for your patient hearing.
Thank you, Ms. Devjani Royji. Very rightly mentioned, in fact. Understanding human psychology, working with the human being seems to be very simple, but it's very, very difficult and challenging task. People, in what time, in what phase of mind the people are, it's really very, very complex issue.
Yes.
And yes, of course, working from home, working different team, one sitting in one time zone, another in another time zone, was a reality for IT industry since many years.
Yes.
And good corporates, big corporates were giving work from home a kind of flexibility,
Yes.
as well as a need, as a necessity, were
Yes.
adopting since many years. But
Yes.
in last challenging year, this has been a reality for many corporates, many sectors, including the academia.
Exactly.
We as a teacher have been always hesitating, and many of us, for dragging the students into the class, was the attendance was the major criteria. If you fulfill 80%, 75%, 90%, then only you would be allowed to exam. And
Yeah.
the students were coming to the classes because of that fear, because of that anxiety.
I remember my days too, sir.
So this year has taught us, the classes were online on one platform or the other platform, digital platform, and the
Yes.
students were there. They were on the screen, but were they really on the screen? Only God knows, right? Things were online, but was that on the line? Nobody knows it. So many challenges we have seen it, and yes, of course, attendance cannot be the criteria for dragging the students to the class. Is a reality which all of us have understood.
Right.
The challenge for every stream professionals, including the teachers, as you said, for HR, it is for us to come out from the comfort zone. Now our role is more to work on pedagogy,
Yes.
work on pedagogy, where we need to emphasize on capacity building, capability building, and
Yes.
giving an autonomy to our students to think, to work in a collaborative manner. We had been talking in last 2 3 years the flipped classrooms, which have been the reality in many of the part of the world.
World. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is talking about bringing the lab into the classrooms,
Yes.
working with the students on a common collaborative thread,
Yeah.
which need to develop. And I think these challenges, and challenges like this, God forbid this happen again, and similar things happen again. But I think these kind of things or compulsions would drag us to that kind of situation where we work on a flat organization rather than a vertical, model of the organization. Thank
Just
you.
like we talk about participative management in the corporates, I think it's participative and collaborative education is going to be the way forward.
Sure. So yes, of course, the collaborative learning, utilizing the available resource, best utilization of the resources rather than
Sure.
reinventing the wheel, working in isolations, inclusiveness for all. I think this is the reality which we need to understand and we need to
Right.
cherish. We need to work together. Thank you, madam, for being with
Thank you.
us and to share the thoughts with us. And I'm sure now there are some questions. I'll request Ajaz Saab if to take up or Dr. Babita to take up, whosoever.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me also. And my first question for Mr. Rajput, that how do you think medical digital transformation will help in the growth of India?
Fantastic. Very good question, madam. Whosoever has said it has said something great. Now we have the platform. Earlier, the platform was there of Practo and other things, right? So I'm just talking about the doctor-patient-chemist relationship. Now there are multiple platform has come where there is no need that a patient should go to the doctor's chamber except the surgery part or except the delivery part for a female. Other things has been possible there. Even we have the proof that where even the dermatologist and ENT specialist, they are able to do the online consultation, they are able to get the thing. It is like the same thing, like the grocery store has come to your home, like the other store has come to your home, so everything has come to your home. This platform is able to provide the hospital and the clinic at the patient's fingertip. So this is one thing which has happened. Second thing is, while sitting there in his home, the person is able to see which is the best economical product available, where it is available. Again, what Mandeep madam has said, AI has added the thing. So really with that AI part, a person can resonate that where the things are available, what is the best possible things are available. So this is the second thing which is there. Third thing is, ma'am, that I was talking to Sarvesh ji, that earlier it used to take 10 years of time for the polio vaccine. Remember the day. Now in 6 months of time, India is able to provide a COVID vaccine. How? It is only a part of AI part. How the segmentation is able to do it. We are in Ahmedabad. So this is for the information the people. There's one doctor is in Rajkot, Mohit Bandari. He's one of the finest bariatric surgeon. He never touches the knife. He's all as in the robotic surgery. So I was talking to the doctor group. They say sometimes we do the mistake, sometimes we cut the capillary, but this robot never ever touch the thing. So there are lot many things are going to happen. Now we are talking about the new thing which is coming up, which people are thinking that in the military the things will happen. Cyborg. Cyborg is the one thing which is going to make a complete change, where the artificial eye will be there, artificial hand will be there, and the military people will be able to take the thing. So the medicine, artificial intelligence, all the things put together is going to do lot many things. And in the coming time, which is a medicinal time, with this AI part, we are able to see that what genes, what genomes, they are going to make a difference. Today, in medical part, the AI is almost $50 billion. But in by 2025, it is going to be $800 billion industry in medicines only. So this is the thing which is there by 2025.
So I think it will be a great change, and it will be a new development in India's medical area. And definitely this HCIS, healthcare information systems, and everything will be in a growth. And this medicine the medicines will be in a developing stage, and the vaccines will come surely to our doorstep, so that we will be really happy to that we can come out of our homes and be on a natural life which we are serving before.
Ma'am,
So
you
my
will agree
second,
that when hydrochloroquine was there, India was the first who has provided the HCQ to the US. 40% of the drug has been manufactured in India for the entire world. So that
yes.
is the way that medicines and the Indian pharmaceutical company is playing a vital role, and it is going to increase by leaps and bounds. And that is the reason we say any of the student, which sir has said, that almost so many students are coming up. So we will be requiring so many of the students in the coming time, which they will be a part of AI, which they will be part of the different pharmaceutical requirement, which is there. So there a lot of scope is there, and technology is going to give lot many things, lot many of the opportunities to work in the coming time. So people have to, what I was listening about Raj Gupta said, the learning, unlearning and relearning. So people have to get up on the part thing so that they should be immediately absorbed and absorbed in the same thing.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. So definitely we are working on it, and our last 6 or 7 months back in the pandemic time, we had Ideathon, and we have developed one of the project was there, which is nearly near to my heart. That through X-rays we have identified this corona cases, and it was really help to the society also. So it was a wonderful idea who the students have brought from AKtU. So my next question moves to Ms. Mandeep Kaur, and my question will be like, will emerging technology will bring change in education syllabus?
Very relevant question, and I think the answer was already given by
But definitely
institute themselves.
a small brief.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. Today, I think what we say emerging is actually something we are using every day. When you order groceries from big baskets, it's artificial intelligence which throws up your previous buys and tells you that, this is the recommended list that you can order again. When you open up Netflix, it throws up a list of movies based on your profile of what you have viewed in the past. When you take a taxi or you drive your own car, you open Google Map to see how long is it going to take and what is the preferred route. So absolutely, it is a necessity. It is a necessity even at a school level today. So I think it needs to be very, very clearly a part of all syllabuses as such. And I think your institute, ma'am, is already doing it. It's already there in those aspects. That's what the professor, sir, had shared with me. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your answer, ma'am. And my next question moves to Mr. Sarvesh, that in your interaction, you mentioned about insurance of employees. So did you observe any confidence level which has been boosted up or increased in your employees?
Of course, so what has happened? Insurance was already there, and which was probably, I can say, is on a better side as per industry standards. Now, coming up with additional top up, which was 5 lakhs for each family member, that actually added a lot of confidence in the employees that company is trusting and company is standing with us in this difficult time, not only for us, but our family members also. So yes, it definitely boosted the confidence. Not only insurance, but there were many initiatives. I'll give some example like meditation, mental well-being. So all the initiatives which we were running for our employees, we invited their family members also to attend those, and especially where both husband and wife are working. So there are chances that some practices which are good in Schneider, uh, and then probably those companies has not picked up. So we invited those professionals also from family. They can attend and share those experiences in their companies. So that's how this is actually learning phase for all of us. So we are learning from these fraternities. So answer is yes, of course. Any gesture, small or big, that boost up the motivation and engagement of people.
Yes, I think if the employees are happy, then definitely it will really impact on the clients also. So they will make the customer also happy. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your answer. And my next question moves to Mr. Raj Gupta. The gig economy have impacted and can take advantage on small industry. Do you think it will impact the large industry also, Mr. Raj?
He's on the mute.
Yeah, I think the large corporations are going to be the key beneficiaries, from a cost optimization perspective, because at this point in time they are getting into a lifetime sort of a contract, which would be, productivity based or outcome based. So if we look at from a business model standpoint, already things are moving from time and material to outcome-based models. So those kind of models are coming into place. So similar things I see happening in the working front as well. That would benefit the larger corporations. When I said it would benefit the smaller organizations or single entrepreneurs, I meant to say because they bring in that kind of depth and breadth in experience and competitive edge, and that's where they get advantaged.
Yes, sir.
I
Thank
think, just want to add this one major thing which is largely being talked about in the society when I am interfacing is about a concept of side hustle, and because million of people have lost their job in this pandemic, and if job is only a single source of your income, then there is a lot of difficulties. So there's a lot of talk around should we allow the side hustle for employees who are full-time workers. So that is a major shift in thinking. I think over a period of time, more clarity will emerge on this, how organizations takes it. But this is something which is being debated in the society at this point in time. Over to you, Dr. Babita.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your answer. Really, it is knowledge enhancing. And my last, my one question, or you can say the last question to Ms. Roy, that what do you think how HR should manage digital transformation pressure on herself or himself?
It's a very, very pertinent question, ma'am, because opinion on the part of the HR fraternity today, I think a lot of us are struggling with it. And let's be honest, even let's say 12 to 24 months back, a lot of us were happy talking at seminars and conferences and as keynote speakers, talking about AI and machine learning and Internet of Things, being a little in the distance and coming slowly, and we getting adapted to it. So it was all very futuristic. At that point of time, we were all talking about it as if it's somewhere around the corner and yet, a little far away. But thanks to this pandemic, and wow, I mean, what a way it has blown all of us away, because suddenly it was right at our doorstep, and it caught us on a wrong foot, because there were some of us who had become adept at adept and accustomed to the concepts. We had already started talking about it. For instance, in my own organization, where I was a CHRO at SRL Diagnostics, we had already started working with chatbots, primarily because our laboratories, our diagnostic laboratories, were so virtually spread across the length and breadth of the company, that it was impossible to have such a broad and heavy HR department to be there looking after people on a field touch basis. So we had these chatbots, and we had these empowered kind of chat mechanisms which were developed in house, so that people who were in the far flung laboratories could be very easily networked into the mainstream through different kind of initiatives which were run on these kind of AI platforms. So there was a lot of initiatives that we had already started taking even before this pandemic hit us. But that was only, let me tell you, 20 to 25% of the HR fraternity. And a lot of us were still taking our time, getting used to the jargons first, and probably thinking about what to do next. And some of us were actually reticent. And I'm sorry to say that even today, when I meet up with a lot of the members of the fraternity on the virtual space, they would still like to think that the time will be around where there will be a space for even the traditional ways of working, and they would continue to possibly labor under that. So I am a little cautious around that. I would certainly think that the time has come for us to really scale up on our own competence and in our own capability as HR, not just conceptually strong on what is to be done with the human psychology and how to understand the human psychology better, but probably also ensure that we are technology savvy. We do manage to sort of understand how technology is going to change the look and feel of HR. Monotony in our function is going to be definitely going to be replaced with a lot of AI, a lot of stuff which can be outsourced and which can be technically driven will be surely shifted out, because there are going to be cost benefit analysis also going to be a part of that. Rather than always look at rationalization of manpower to be a great source of saving costs on your personal budget, I think one of the things that HR can do is to definitely look at technical solutions, in place, which could be a one-time investment, but thereafter start giving you a lot of leverages in terms of saving cost for you in the future. So we have to be savvy enough to look at those kind of options for us. And it will be a little bit difficult to start with because it's a different jargon, it's a different language altogether. However, nothing is impossible. And as long as we orient ourselves to once again understanding the nature of business and the way it is shifting, I think I strongly feel that HR has the intellectual capital to be able to make that shift and definitely scale up to service organizations better.
Thank you, ma'am. And I think whatever you have said, that scaling herself or himself will really help to care her pressure. And I hope it was a very interactive session we all had. And now over to Miss Pratibha to take over and invite the other fellow member. Thank you so
Can I
much.
add one thing with your due
Yeah.
Can I add one thing with the due permission, Dr.
Yes,
Babita,
sir.
please?
Please, sir. Please.
Okay. So I was like very passionately listening all my fellow speakers, and what we are seeing that earlier when we choose the person in the sales and marketing, we used to say that what is the IQ level of the person. Now that IQ level has shifted to the emotional quotient part, because now you have to deal with the human. More humanity is required, more humility is required, because it's like virtual world. New normal is a virtual world, and I'm sure the dignitaries from the HR will agree with me. Now the new paradigm shift is happening. It is now coming as a CQ, creative quotient. So as an HR, it is very, very important how we are able to develop and build that creative quotient in the person, because AI is going to rule. It is very clear. It is very, very clear in any industry, in every industry. And we have to embrace that part. So there's one question has come here where they are talking that how a new person will be able to join HR technology and marketing. So I just writing down a couple of the things which I just like to add with related to the AI, because the students who are learning, who are coming in from this important institute, AI is going to help in pharmaceutical and supply chain. AI is going to help in contract developing. AI is going to help in the digital marketing. AI is going to help the taking the health records also, which is already there. AI is going to help in the inbound marketing. So the people who are learning the marketing part or in the HR technology, you start working on that. AI is also going to have the as a private helper, because the machine learning is going to help. They are going to be helping the doctors, nurses, and all the fraternity to make the things happen. Then AI is also going to help for the chatbots, which Madam Devjani has just now said. AI is going to help in the health tech, voice search, blockchain, augmented reality, resolution like Tableau, SAP, Power BI. So this is a new shift from the HR side which you have to take. Believe you me, we have taken this shift in our Cadila. We are having 10,000 people working in the organization. HR has taken the shift. We have done during this new normal 100 hours exercise. We have developed each of the person for the requirement. एक गांव में बैठा हुआ लड़का, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ तो अगर मेडिसिन बेचनी है तो लड़के को आजमगढ़ के इंटीरियर में भी होना पड़ेगा, मऊ में भी होना पड़ेगा, बाराबंकी में भी होना पड़ेगा. But that guy is not clear about the things. So we have ensured that he will be able to handle the things. Suppose he get a call from a doctor from the hospital on his mobile, or there's some medicines are there. We have developed that part. And believe you me, it was the HR who has created a heaven of a difference on that. So that is the reason I just want to put it. HR is going to make a maximum role on that, and let us go towards the AI part. So I was just reading a couple of the things which has come यहाँ पे आया है chat box में. So I thought let me just give a reply, because we are doing it. I'm sure other people are 100% do it, but we are also doing it, and we are getting the experience and the results also. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking this question also, because I just overlooked. I have not seen. So thank you so much for taking this question. Thank you so much. Over to Pratibha, madam.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the dignitaries who have come across on this HR conclave and share your views with our students and the other staff members. Thank you so much for all these things, for your experiences, ideas, and knowledge, which really enriches us. Sir, now I would like to request to Mr. Azaz Khan to please summarize this HR session. So it's over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratibha ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. I had a wonderful opportunity of listening to all the academic and industry leaders. So while I cannot do the justice of covering everyone what everyone said, however, to summarize, we talked about how pandemic hit and the fact that we went to our basics when pandemic hit and we learned some of the basic things like washing our hands and how to take care of our health. That was a difficult time. So individuals, academic institutions, companies, governments, individuals, everyone was hit by uncertainty. From students to employees to leaders, everyone had their share of challenges. And then came the phase of learning, adapting, and innovation. And government organizations, leaders, companies, everyone stepped up to handle the situation. Uh, Here, technology played a very, very important role. And what we were hoping the technology would do in the next 10 years, the technology did in a couple of months. And what we will see in the next 2 years is probably what otherwise we would not have seen in the next 10 years. So we've seen transformation in medicine, we've seen transformation in cloud, education, robotics, aviation. You talk about every industry and every sector, everyone was hit, and we see transformation everywhere. With all these changes, HR in every organization also had its challenges, with people working remotely, with the workforce moving to gig economy, with challenges in the the way the employees were engaged or the definition of productivity. Everything was changing, and it was new to HR as well. Today, HR is wearing multiple hats. Today's HR is technology driven, not just people champion, but also data champion, dealing with new workforce challenges, and especially the challenges of working remotely. Technology like AI, machine learning helped hear what employees say inside and outside the organization. This technology helped HR deal with the employees and the situations differently. So we see employee engagement index rising, we see productivity increasing, and HR, with the help of technology, is also driving innovation in people management and how they are leveraging technology. So as said, illiterate of 21st century is not the one who cannot speak and write, but the one who cannot unlearn and learn. And this is true for everyone. This is true for every organization, even for us, for AKtU, and it's true to every organization, even for HR. And as said, pandemic has not gone away. We have some challenges which we see in future, and the challenges are for us to get out of comfort zone, to have self-discipline, and to have resilience. Our ability to quickly adapt and to be agile and being adept to deal with the next unforeseen challenges, that's what we need to get ready for. But like we have always seen, we have seen in the past, we have transformed for the better in the last few months, and we will also be able to step up to deal with any challenges in future. So that's the summary of what I take from all the leaders who've spoken. Thank you so much. Pratibha ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Azaz sir, for summarizing this session. And we are very close to end of this session. And I would like to invite the nodal officer of UIIC, Mr. Ayush Shrivastava, to give his vote of thanks to the entire team, to all experts. Thank you so much. Please, it's over to you, sir.
धन्यवाद मैम। मैं विश्वविद्यालय की तरफ से सर्वप्रथम मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर फाल्गुनी गुप्ता, माननीय कुलपति जीएलए विश्वविद्यालय मथुरा का विश्वविद्यालय की एचआर कॉन्क्लेव में पधारने के लिए हृदय से अभिनंदन और धन्यवाद करता हूं। इसके साथ ही विभिन्न औद्योगिक संस्थानों से पधारे अतिथिगण और मुख्य वक्ता, जिसमें श्री प्रमोद कुमार राजपूत, सुश्री मनदीप कौर, श्रीमान सर्वेश भदौरिया, श्रीमान राजगुप्ता, सुश्री देवजनी रॉय का मैं बहुमूल्य समय देने के लिए और विश्वविद्यालय के पटल पर बहुत ही बेशकीमती विचार रखने के लिए हृदय से धन्यवाद प्रकट करता हूं। साथ ही मैं सभी प्रतिभागियों का भी हृदय से धन्यवाद प्रकट करता हूं। इसके साथ ही UIIC की पूरी टीम और विश्वविद्यालय की IT टीम का धन्यवाद प्रकट करता हूं और विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति ऑनरेबल प्रोफेसर विनय कुमार पाठक सर का, हमारे प्रो वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर विनीत कंसल सर का, हमारे कुल सचिव नंदलाल सिंह सर का, हमारे फाइनेंस ऑफिसर GP सिंह सर का भी बहुत बहुत हृदय से धन्यवाद प्रकट करता हूं। सभी का धन्यवाद।
Thank you all of you.